Welcome to Danger, the channel where we dive into the world's most chilling true crime stories. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post something. Tonight's case is one of the most disturbing crimes to ever come out of Alaska. It's a story involving betrayal, manipulation, catfishing, greed, and murder. At the center of this horrifying case was a teenage girl named Denali Brehmer, who became involved with an online stranger claiming to be a wealthy millionaire. What started as an internet relationship quickly spiraled into a deadly murder-for-hire plot that ended with the brutal death of 19-year-old Cynthia Hoffman, a young woman who trusted Denali completely. This is the chilling case of Denali Brehmer and the murder of Cynthia Hoffman. In 2019, Cynthia Hoffman was a 19-year-old woman living in Anchorage, Alaska. Friends and family described her as caring, trusting, and incredibly kind-hearted. Cynthia also reportedly had developmental disabilities, which made her emotionally vulnerable and easier for others to manipulate. Those who knew her said she often saw the best in people and trusted her friends deeply. Tragically, that trust would ultimately lead her directly into danger. One of Cynthia's closest friends at the time was 18-year-old Denali Brehmer. Denali appeared, on the surface, to be a normal teenager. She had friends, spent time online like many teenagers do, and seemed to live an ordinary life in Alaska. But behind the scenes, Denali had become deeply involved with someone she met online, a person who would completely change the course of multiple lives forever. Denali had been communicating with someone named Tyler. Tyler claimed to be a wealthy man from Kansas who had millions of dollars and wanted to be with her romantically. Over time, their conversations became darker and more disturbing. According to investigators, Tyler began discussing violent fantasies and criminal acts with Denali. Eventually, he allegedly offered her a horrifying proposition. He claimed he would pay her approximately $9 million if she murdered someone and sent him proof of the killing. But there was one major problem. Tyler was not real. Investigators later discovered that Tyler was actually a man named Darin Schilmiller from Indiana who had been catfishing Denali using a fake online identity. Schilmiller was not a millionaire, and there was no fortune waiting for Denali. But by the time the truth came out, the situation had already escalated into something deadly. Authorities later revealed that Denali became obsessed with the idea of receiving the money. Prosecutors said she began discussing possible victims and planning the crime with several other teenagers. Among those involved were Caden McIntosh and Caleb Leyland. Court records showed that the group allegedly talked about how they would split the millions of dollars after the murder was completed. As investigators pieced together the case, they discovered that the group eventually targeted Cynthia Hoffman. Prosecutors believed Cynthia was chosen because she trusted Denali and would willingly go wherever Denali asked her to go. It was a betrayal almost impossible to comprehend. Cynthia reportedly had no idea that the people she considered friends were planning to kill her. On June 2, 2019, the group invited Cynthia on what she believed would be a normal outing near Thunderbird Falls, a scenic area in Alaska known for hiking trails and beautiful views. To Cynthia, it probably seemed like a regular day spent with friends. But investigators later said the trip had been planned as part of the murder conspiracy. At some point during the outing, Cynthia's hands and feet were bound with duct tape. Authorities later revealed that she was shot in the back of the head near the Eklutna River area. Her body was then discarded near the riverbank. Prosecutors stated that photos and videos of the murder were allegedly sent to Schilmiller while the attack was taking place. The details of the crime horrified investigators and the public alike. Not only had the murder been planned, but it had allegedly been carried out for money that never even existed. The entire conspiracy had been fueled by online deception and manipulation. 2 days later, Cynthia Hoffman's body was discovered. The case immediately shocked the local community in Alaska. Friends, family members, and investigators struggled to understand how such a brutal crime could have been committed by teenagers. As police began interviewing those connected to Cynthia, inconsistencies quickly started appearing in their stories. The investigation soon involved the Anchorage Police Department, the FBI, and Indiana State Police. Detectives traced social media accounts, messages, and online conversations between Denali and Darin Schilmiller. As they dug deeper, they uncovered the disturbing truth about the fake millionaire persona and the murder-for-hire arrangement. Authorities said the online messages showed extensive planning leading up to the murder. Investigators discovered discussions about selecting a victim, carrying out the killing, and receiving payment afterward. The case became nationally known because it combined several terrifying modern realities: catfishing, online manipulation, social media influence, teenage violence, and recorded criminal acts. As more details emerged, the public became increasingly horrified by the betrayal involved. Cynthia had trusted the people around her completely. She reportedly believed she was spending time with friends, never realizing that some of them had already decided she would not survive the day. Denali Brehmer and several others were eventually arrested and charged in connection with the murder. The charges included first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and tampering with evidence. Prosecutors argued that Denali played a leading role in organizing the crime and recruiting others to participate. Over time, multiple individuals connected to the case reached plea agreements. In 2023, Denali Brehmer pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. The guilty plea meant she admitted responsibility for her role in Cynthia Hoffman's death. Prosecutors stated that although Denali may not have personally fired the fatal shot, the murder plot would likely never have happened without her involvement and planning. The sentencing phase brought even more emotional moments. Family members of Cynthia Hoffman spoke about the devastating impact her murder had on their lives. They described Cynthia as loving, innocent, and vulnerable. The betrayal she suffered at the hands of people she trusted made the tragedy even more heartbreaking. In February 2024, Denali Brehmer was sentenced to 99 years in prison. During sentencing, the judge described the crime as cold, calculated, and senseless. The court emphasized the level of planning involved and the disturbing nature of the murder-for-hire scheme. Prosecutors argued that Denali had multiple opportunities to stop the plan before Cynthia was killed, yet continued moving forward anyway. Darin Schilmiller also received a lengthy prison sentence for his role in orchestrating the crime from Indiana. Authorities said Schilmiller manipulated Denali online and encouraged violent fantasies that eventually became reality. The case raised serious concerns about the dangers of online relationships and the influence strangers on the internet can have over vulnerable individuals. As if the murder case itself was not disturbing enough, investigators also uncovered additional crimes involving child exploitation materials connected to both Schilmiller and Brehmer. Those discoveries added another dark layer to an already horrifying investigation. Even years later, the case continues to spark debate online. Some people believe Denali was heavily manipulated by Schilmiller and psychologically influenced through their online relationship. Others argue that regardless of manipulation, Denali still made the conscious decision to target and betray her own friend. The court ultimately ruled that she understood the consequences of her actions and was fully responsible for her role in the murder. The death of Cynthia Hoffman remains one of Alaska's most disturbing true crime stories. It serves as a chilling reminder of how dangerous online deception can become when mixed with greed, manipulation, and violence. It is also a tragic story about trust, and how the people closest to us can sometimes hide terrifying secrets. The murder of Cynthia Hoffman shocked the nation and left an entire community searching for answers. A young woman lost her life because of lies, manipulation, and a promise of money that never existed. But what do you think? Was Denali Brehmer simply manipulated by Darin Schilmiller, or was she fully responsible from the very beginning? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you want more factual and respectful true crime content, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, stay safe.